What's up, guys? Straight from the chest, and my name is Justin Groth. Guys, this is a Wednesday Wrath edition. This is a personal development podcast for all of those who are new to the channel. First of all, I want to welcome you, and second of all, I want to invite you to understand really what this is. Like I said, it's a personal development podcast geared towards igniting the dormant passion that lays inside of you already. And for those of you who are veteran listeners, thank you as always. Very, very much appreciated, guys. And for those of you who are new, we like to do a segment on this podcast called We're Not Friends. And like the title entails, guys, we are not friends. And this is something that I'm going to predicate here with all love. Okay? You got it? I mean this with love because I think I'm going to really include 99%. I'm going to call it, I think, 99% of my market, not my market, but my listeners in this We're Not Friends segment. But it just has to be said because I feel like it's never said with this particular thing. And maybe it's because it doesn't bother anybody else but me. But as you know, I'm already cool with that. So here's the thing. We're not friends if you're that person that says, no worries. No, we're not friends. First of all, I'm just being considerate. I'm telling you I'm going to be 5 minutes late. I'm not worried. I'm just being considerate. I don't even know where that stemmed from. No worries, man. Like, is that some hippie shit? I don't know. Where did that stem from? Who cares? I'm not saying, like, I'm worried that I'm going to, that's why I need to tell you this because I'm worried. I'm saying it to be courteous. I'm going to be a few minutes late, dude. Doesn't warrant me being worried, so you don't have to allocate that. You don't have to say, no worries, man. I'm not worried. I'm just being considerate. I don't even know where that became a constant. Why is that a constant? Why can't you just say no problem? Okay, no problem. Is that not slang enough? Is that not cool enough anymore to say no problem? Now you gotta say no worries? Is that just like some peace hippie love shit? I don't know. What is that? Just say no problem. We're good with that. I'm just being considerate. I'm not worried. I'm not a worrier. If anything, I'm a warrior, not a worrier. Okay, I'm definitely not worried about being 5 minutes late to something that I told you I was gonna be on time for. If it doesn't warrant it, I'm not on time, whatever. I'm not worried though. Let's get clear. I'm just very definite in what I'm trying to be and direct. And I'm worried is not one of those. I'm just being considerate, dude. That's why I'm telling you I'm 5 minutes late. Moving forward, guys, in this podcast, this is really something that I wanted to touch on a while back. And one of my friends asked me the other day, he says, and this is an older gentleman. Well, I say older, he's like 30, but he's a good buddy of mine, and he's got his head on straight. He knows what he's going to do in his life, but yet he still asks me something. And it seems like at this point in the stage of the game, it seems like this would be already accounted for. But sadly, it's not. And sadly, this is the same reason why many people are unhappy in life, because they're doing something that they're just not that good at, and they just don't really like all that much. It's like being with a girlfriend you don't really like. You're spending all your time with her, but you don't really like her. Like, this is going to sound shitty. You're not attracted to her that much. You're not that attracted to her. You don't really communicate that well. And yet, you're waking up to her every day. You don't really have good times together. You don't really have the same interests, same hobbies. You don't gel well, right? You don't gel well. And you're still with her. Why? Let me tell you why. You're fearful on the outside of what's there. And you're comfortable with the internal, what's going on right now with you and her. Even, albeit it's not good. You're comfortable. And you're not brave enough to step out into the real world and try to find something that's more compatible to your bioengineering. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, it should. Because it's how we're all wired, right? We understand what we're great at, and we understand what we're good at, and we understand what we suck at. But all too often, we try to predicate on the things we suck at because media loves to prey on our weakness or weaknesses. So like a girlfriend or a spouse, why are you staying with that person when they take the life out of you, when they're not depositing in you and they're not delivering any value to you? Hopefully this happens before the marital stage of your life. But let's just say you went past that girlfriend, boyfriend stage, honeymoon stage. Now you're deep into the marriage and none of the counseling is helping. No communication is helping. Like nothing is helping, but yet you're still in it. And it's been 20 years. And you guys are 40, 50 years old. It's probably not going to change, right? But just on the account that it does. I don't even want to talk about married couples because we start getting about divorce and stuff like that, and that's a whole other time. And I'm not a proponent for divorce, okay? But so let's bring it back, wind it back. We're talking about GFs and BFs. Okay, when you guys are in that first early stage, there's no ties between you guys. You guys don't even have a dog together. Like there's literally nothing. No joint bank accounts, nothing. You can separate tomorrow and no one give a shit. Okay, when you're there and you've been with this person for, let's say, 2 years, and they still are not delivering any value to you, they're still not encouraging you, they're not communicating well with you, you guys are bumping heads, you don't even really like to be around each other, but now you've adopted a household together. You guys are paying rent together in a household, but you still don't get along. You barely like waking up to each other. Why don't you just cut the cord and meet somebody, or go out in the free world and try to meet somebody that is more compatible to you? That's the same dysfunction that you're in your job. And so this guy, my friend asked me, he said, how do you find your purpose in life? Now that's such a loaded question, but it's so simple at the same time. And you know what I said to him? I said, you've already been knowing what your purpose is. The problem is not with identifying it. The problem is you keep suppressing it. You keep suppressing it and pushing it down in a way, for whatever reason, internal and intrinsic and innate to you, that's not for me to understand. You need to identify the reason why you keep suppressing it. Because it's not that it doesn't exist. And in fact, I'm going to go one up. You already know what it is. You already know of its existence. What's the quality of life like? Sucks. What if you make $330,000 a year doing something you love, which is still a crap ton of money, and you have a great quality of life and you live another 11 years because of it? And you're able to do more in those 11 years to more people and leave more of a legacy and a footprint on this earth because of that longer life you had, because you had a better quality of life, because of the work that you did, that you loved, and you weren't just doing for money. But so many people are wrapped up in the money aspect. I understand. Look, I want to eat steak, and I want to drive a nice ride, and I want to come home to a nice house. I do too, but not at the expense of who I am going to be and predicate myself on in my existence for the rest of my life. I'm not willing to just lay down and do whatever it takes to be, lay down and just do what it takes to make money and make an obscene amount of money. Because even though I want all those things, I want more. I want more. I want much more to identify with the gift that God gave me and go all into that. I want to capitalize on that. I could give a shit at that point about money because I know that when I'm in full-fledged my purpose, I'm going to be changing lives. I'm going to be exuberating through my talents and the purpose that God has given me. And that is something that you cannot measure in money. You got that. You can't measure that in money. That only is a deep-rooted, surreal, emotional feeling that you feel deeply, innately inside of you that you cannot buy, you cannot search for. It comes, but it only is going to come by way of you identifying with the gift. Can you identify the gift? Can you identify the reason why you're suppressing it and have been so since 13 years old? Why? Why are you doing that? Because I'm going to tell you, you have already heard it before by other people and you've heard it by me before. But there is excellence within you. There is excellence in your existence. That is a reality. You need to choose to believe it. You need to choose that you're not made from the same cloth. You need to choose that you were cut differently by God. And it was on purpose. And it was because this certain thing you're feeling inside, you need to do that. And you need to do less real estate. Got it? But that's up to you to identify. It's not for me to say. So you can see why that question is the most loaded, but it's the most simple to be able to answer. Some people get the knock day in, day out at the door. But they think it's a solicitor, or they think it's Jehovah's Witness that they don't want to answer the door to. So they never answer the door. And sometimes it is probably, right? Sometimes those knocks, they're not for you. Sometimes the knocks, they're just people that want to solicit you and have you buy into their program or whatever. But you'll know the difference between this knock and this knock. See the difference? It's a lot lighter of a knock. This is how the devil knocks. That's how he knocks. This is how God knocks. Light. Will you answer the light knock, even though it's there? Or are you just waiting for the pound? I know that's there. I'm not going to answer it though. I'm not going to answer that knock. I know the light knock's there, but I'm not going to answer it. Why? It's profound, it's proficient, it's a knock. Why aren't you answering it? Why are you only answering the hard knocks that come your way? Most of the time, those hard knocks, they're only there to deviate you. They're only there to wind you down a rabbit hole that you can't get out of. Why are you letting the dysfunctional knocks be the ones that you open to? Why aren't you listening and answering to the light knocks? Those are the most profound knocks that you can hear. Those are the ones you want to listen to and want to answer to. He talks to you the same way. Lightly whispers. And you keep discarding it because it's a whisper and it's not a yell. There's got to be a certain amount of faith that comes along with you and your being. There's got to be a certain amount of faith that you carry every day that knows that it's not going to be because of you that you get to this level. It's going to be because of God guiding you there. Because he who did a work within you is going to bring it to pass. But it's going to come on his appointed timeline, not on yours. And that's the hardest thing to be able to swallow. That's the hardest pill to swallow, is knowing that it's there, but you don't know when it's going to come and how it's going to be dressed. But I'm telling you, if you pay attention to the light knocks, you listen to them, you open the door to them, and you actually steer clear of the hard knocks, and you have faith, a certainty in the uncertain events to come, you will open that big door of blessing, promotion, increase that will lead to gratitude, that will lead to your legacy on this planet. But you have to listen. You have to do do something that many people are not doing, because many people are prying and clawing and grabbing their way to the top, and they're calling it ambition, and they're calling it grind and hustle. And in the process, they're getting diluted by the sense of what God can do and what they're doing. They can't do anything. They can't. It may seem like they're running a marathon and they're blowing past people, and really, they're running in place. You're running in place. You think you're doing a lot, but you're not going anywhere. So let me give you some medicine here. Take this medicine. This is what I prescribe. Stop flaring your arms and your legs and stand still. And listen to the light knocks. Because when you're running, you're flaring your arms, you're kicking up wind, you can't hear the light knocks. But you do hear this, and that seems more appealing, right? Stop flaring your arms. Stop striding high with your legs, and stop clawing and prying and grabbing your way to the top and pushing people out of the way in the process, and just stand still and listen and be guided by a far more powerful and instructive voice. That is the secret to your success and your legacy. It's not in any book that you read. It's not in any influencer that you look up to. Because if they're not telling you what I just told you, they're selling you on a dream. And we love dreams, right? I'm not one against dreams. I'm not one against visions. I love them. I do them. I have them every single day. Multiple times throughout the day, perpetual. But I know the reality to get there. And the reality is, it's not by my own hand that I'm going to make this shit happen. It's not. It's by my faith. And it's by my acts with faith. And it's by living each and every day the best I can. Laying, like Will Smith says, laying a brick perfectly at a time. Stacking a brick perfectly. Stacking another brick perfectly on top of that brick. Every single day. Because the reality is, that's all you've got. Is right now. You don't know anything else. You think you do, you don't. Just like you think you can get your way to the top on your own account, you can't. You're lying to yourself. That's just because you're arrogant and you're self-indulged and you think you got this. You think you're a lion. You're a sheep, bro. You're a sheep. Stop acting like a lion. Real lions stand still and they wait. They don't do like hyenas do and exhaust their prey before they take a chunk out of their skin. They wait. They wait. And then when they see it, they pounce. Just like when you wait and you see that door happen, you see that door opening. And meanwhile, you've been plotting, you've been strategizing with God in alignment with Him. So therefore, you're clear on the purpose. You're clear and discerning on what's in front of you. So when you see it, you identify it, and then you pounce on it. And that is similar to building your legacy. Will you listen, though, to the light knocks? Or are you only going to listen to the hard knocks?